Ooh. How does a Scrum Master create and nurture motivation within the Scrum team? Yeah, I'm not sure they create it. Okay. The two key types of motivation: external, I pay you to do a job, you turn up to get the money; and internal, you turn up because you believe it's the right thing to do. They definitely aren't doing the external. We aren't going to start feeding you sweets and things just to get you to turn up to do the job. And if you're that cheap, you really want to renegotiate your salary. So the internal motivation, well, we can't do that either, because that's you. That is you following your purpose. What we need to do is help the product owner and the whole team and the organisation create the conditions where internal motivation is present. What we need to do then is understand what makes you tick. And you are a unique human being, but psychology wouldn't work if we didn't have some similarities, some fundamental truths within us. And one of them is that desire for purpose. Okay. So it's not on the Scrum Master, but the product owner to create motivation. We're there to reinforce it. When you think about it, the reason that you get up and come to work, once money has been satisfied, and we can't say that's not a thing, is you want to do it because you want to add to the world. You want to turn up and do good things, be recognised for doing great things, improve. Okay? Dan Pink's book Drive, I can never remember the tagline to it, talks about motivation in 3 parts: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. The purpose sits with that product owner. Think of the product goal. What is the positive change that you as a team are looking to create in the world by creating this product? Okay? That you want to drive people forward. You need to work with that product owner to express it in such a way that it is inspiring, that it is bold, it's ambitious, okay, while being concise enough that the developers can consume it, remember it, and feel like it's theirs. So we work with the product owner on autonomy, on purpose. Autonomy is a given in a well-run Scrum team. We have a product owner who's telling them, this is what I want, this is why I want it. There's that purpose thing come back again. And making decisions about when I want my thing. But the developers own how. They get to work out how to do the job to the best of their abilities within the constraints of the what and the why. So we have autonomy, we have purpose. Now mastery. Mastery is a tricky one, and it's one that I suspect many Scrum Masters and Agile coaches over the years have gone up to bat for. We need to find a way whereby the team can improve. We have the retrospective. That is an opportunity every sprint to be better. That's great. That's a little bit. But I want you to push further. I want you to recognise that team members individually can improve as well as collectively. And to do that, we need to create an ability for deliberate practice. We need to create time within that team where they can stop, consider what they do, choose one small part of what they do, and deliberately focusing on that, work at improving just for a short period of time. When I was a developer, one of the key tools that I used was called a coding kata. You would take something simple like the bowling game, scoring a game of 10-pin bowling, and you would just repeat over and over and over the code to the point that I know I had it memorized and I could just type it out. Don't ask me to do it today. Which doesn't sound helpful. I've memorized some code, not many lines, but actually when I look at it back, and it is what I knew I was doing at the time, was deliberate practice of working with the languages that I coded in, with the development environments that I worked on. And I would set myself a goal, and some of the teams that I worked with, we would collectively choose one area to improve that week. And it might be, early days, code the bowling game as quickly as you can. That's a memorization test. That's not a bad thing. Having a good memory is going to help many people throughout their lives. But then we would get harder and we would say, okay, you're not allowed to use the mouse. So you have to stay hands on keyboards at all times. Now you have to learn your development environment better. You have to work a way around what are the shortcuts, what are the key commands to do the refactoring in these tools, all of that stuff. And next time round, you might take away the ability to use a bracket. So now you've got to code it in new and interesting ways, or an if statement, or whatever you do. Every week we changed the parameters. It was still the same bowling game, and I remember we could spend months on a single exercise just changing different aspects of it so that we quite consciously, quite deliberately improved in that aspect. We spent a week, 30 minutes a day, just being better. 2.5 hours a week is not a lot of time for the ability for us to learn our tools so much better. As a Scrum Master, 2 things. 1, you need to create that time for your team. You need to be talking outwards to the organisation, inwards to the team as a whole, that actually this is the job. Okay? You look at the best people around the world, they are the best because of deliberate practice. So we need to create the space where our team can deliberately practice their own craft. They can consciously improve. That will create motivation. And that second point is you need to do it too. You need to deliberately practice your craft. Find ways to practice facilitating, coaching, conflict resolution. I don't recommend creating conflicts to do that, but step in and help other people. Okay. But that's an aside. Motivation. How do we create it? We don't. We create the conditions for motivation. Think back to that autonomy, mastery, and purpose. We need to work with our product owner to create a compelling purpose, something that drives people on, that pulls them forwards, that they want to get up and out of bed and going to turn up to work and do the best they can. Autonomy, we need to help the product owner and the organisation respect the autonomy of the developers so that they can work out best how to solve the problem. And the mastery. We as Scrum Masters, as Agile coaches, need to work with both the teams and the wider organisation to create that space where they can deliberately practice and work towards their own mastery. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.